name's Kirsten. I'm 22 years old and I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. I've been on YouTube for must be about a year, maybe a year and a half. You know, I've been visiting it for even longer than that. And you know, generally all I look for is anime and the opening themes of my favorite shows from the 90s that I still think are better than anything else that's been produced in this millennium. But occasionally what I do find, when I feel like it, or I'll just randomly come across it, are stories of, I don't know, people coming out. Coming out as gays, lesbians, bisexual, transgendered, whatever, stuff like that. And what sort of shocks me sometimes is the negativity that these people have faced, and it almost breaks my heart. I've seen a 70-year-old man who, way back when they didn't even have the word gay, and he had to keep it a secret until he was in his 40s or something, Oh crap, there goes my phone. Hang on a second, I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So like I was saying, I've found a lot of negativity, people being unable to come out. I've seen a girl whose mother tried to drown her because she thought because she thought she had demons. She was like trying to throw her into the water and cast out the demons, like, Jesus, my Lord, save this child from the gayness. Anyway, not to badmouth any extremely religious people. I'm really not. I'm just saying it just seems a bit insane to me that a mother would do that to her own child. I've seen kids who were beaten up, thrown out of their houses. It's really horrible. But so anyway, what I wanted to do, now I'm getting to the point of this whole thing, I wanted to share my experiences. I went to an all-girls school from grade 8 to matric, grade 12. So the feeling of being bisexual, I couldn't really be sure if it was just because I didn't know any boys. I really didn't know any boys. There was one very strange kid who lived next door to me, who I didn't speak to because, well, if you'd ever met him, you wouldn't want to speak to him either. He was, I don't know if there was, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone, but I think there may have been something wrong with him psychologically, but he used to stalk me, and, he was about 5 years older than me, so when you're about 10, it's a bit creepy, so, either way, I didn't know any boys, so, how do you know? I got crushes on guys, generally they were anime, and generally they looked like chicks, so that should have been my first clue. But anyway, when I was about 15, thereabouts, I told my mom and my dad that I was bisexual, and they were cool with it. They didn't have any issues. My mom was like, oh, it's just a phase. Not being negative or anything, but she was convinced it was just a phase because I was at an all-girls school. It was a good school. Don't get me wrong, I really liked it there. I wish I'd actually gone there a few years later, because by the time the kids who were in grade 8, when I was in matric, reached matric, which was this year, they had like so many other lesbian and bisexual girls there. I would have probably felt a lot less sort of alone. I would have probably been able to come to terms with who and what I was, when I was much younger. But it really only twigged that I was in fact gay when I was 18. I'd been out of school for a couple of months, and I was involved in a mural painting thing up in Sophia Town, which is near where I live. And I got very close to one of the guys there, and eventually he kissed me. And don't get me wrong, he was the sweetest guy ever, he really was, but oh my god, it was disgusting. And by all accounts he was a good kisser, but it just felt so wrong, it was, I don't know, like I can't even describe it. It was, you know, it was wrong in the sense of, you know, people over 20 enjoying Barney. You know, it really felt uncomfortable, and it got me thinking quite a bit about myself. And a few months later, basically, you know, it sort of dawned on me. A friend of mine sent me an SMS. You know, she's also gay, and she said, "For all those women out there looking for a man, you can have my share." And almost without thinking, I responded back to her. I said, "Yeah, they can have mine too." And I think she was the first person I sort of came out to. It was by SMS, but, you know, it really sort of opened it up for me. And then obviously, because I had this revelation about my life, I told my best friend, because we tell each other everything. And I told another friend of mine who'd been in high school. She was a few years younger than me. Eventually we started going out, and trust me, kissing her was a lot nicer than kissing that guy. You know, it felt right, you know. It really did. And anyway, so those were like the first people I came out to, and they were cool. My sister figured it out a little while ago, because I'm a slasher, you know, those people who take characters from books, and, you know, they can be male or female, and they put them together. Well, anyway, I liked Sirius and Remus from the Harry Potter series, and I was going on about that, and my sister was like, "Oh my god, you're a homosexual," and I told her I was bi. But, you know, I don't think I've ever actually come out and really told her I was gay, but she knows. I mean, I mention it all the time now, but I had never actually sat her down and went, you know, Bronwyn, I'm gay. You know, never actually did that. Then, you know, I told my mom, and my mom has gone through finding out about my self-injury, me converting from, you know, relative Christianity to Wicca, to then just general paganism. She's put up with so much stuff, and her basic reaction to "Mom, I'm gay" was, "That's nice, dear." You know, not to say anything bad about my mom, but it was like, okay, a poignant moment in my life, and I guess that's nice, dear. So yeah, she was accepting. I was more worried about telling my dad. I really was. You know, I really shouldn't have been, because, you know, we were driving home one night, and I said to him, "Dad, is it obvious that I'm gay?" And he said, "Not particularly." And then he proceeded to tell me that he'd been ambiguous about his sexuality when he was my age, and that was, for starters, an eye-opener. And second, it made me really feel that, you know what, here I've been so worried about it, and really why? I've got other gay family members. I've got gay friends or whatever, and I mean, one of the closest friends of my family is a gay man, and, you know, I love him almost like an uncle. You know, he's a very close friend, and it's like, I didn't realize why I'd been so negative about it. I mean, every friend I told was like, even this. I mean, when I started university in 2005, you know, I took a gap year after matric. And when I started university, I met this one very religious girl, you know, who didn't agree with homosexuality per se, but she was cool about it, you know. She was open about it. She didn't shun me because I was. She didn't think I'd be going to heaven anytime soon, but she didn't shun me. She didn't try to convert me back to being straight. She didn't even try to convert me back to being Christian. You know, knowing that I was pagan. In fact, she wanted to learn more about it. You know, the pentacle that I always wore around my neck. I mean, you can probably see it here. I mean, what it means. And I told her about the elements and stuff, and what it encompasses, and what it means personally on my level. And she accepted that. But I mean, generally, my experience with coming out and being gay and being open about it has been so positive. You know, I think I've had maybe one person, you know, spit at me and say "dyke," and I mean, yeah, right. Call me a dyke. My friend is the Taekwondo, you know, fifth Taekwondo level person in South Africa. You know, you really want to piss me off, I'll introduce you to her. You know, it's like, you know, but whatever. I mean, I don't threaten people on principle, but, you know, it's generally been a good experience for me, and, you know, I just really, it's my deepest wish that everyone who has to come out to their friends and family can just do it without feeling ashamed of who they are, without feeling that what they are and who they were born as is wrong.